In this video, I'm going to explain why I think learning automation and AI skills is completely pointless for 2026. So, I am someone that has spent the last 10 months trying to learn automation and AI, and I have been immersed in that space, trying to learn as much as I can from a technical standpoint. The problem that we currently have, though, is technology is moving so quickly that my skills are becoming obsolete, and they're becoming obsolete very, very quick. So if we look at um, as time kind of goes on, and I'm going to try and explain this, like we've got like a graph here, and this is like so this is time, and then this is like skills, or like your how good your tech skills are. And as you kind of start up here, and as time goes on, your tech skills become obsolete, and they were kind of not obsolete, and they kind of plateau out, and that's the kind of way I see it. So right now, we're in an age where, as time continues to move this way, and as AI gets better and better and better, learning things like automation and AI are somewhat redundant, because there will always be someone that's one better than you. So I think that's a really important point. Like, I'm not the best at it, but and there will always be someone better than me that can build automation and AI a lot quicker. But also with AI is now building automation. So we see that in N8N, where they now have an AI chat where you can literally ask it what to build and it will go and build it for you. Where I think the biggest skills are going to lie is in business. So is the biz side. And that is being able to see technology through the lens of the organization, not through the lens of a technologist. It's looking at it through the lens of the business you're working with. Because I think skills like ROI, value, P&L, metrics, all of these things, which are the really unsexy parts of business, will become more and more important as companies continue to adopt technology. But technology is moving so fast, it's almost impossible to keep up with it. So you, as a consultant or a freelancer or whatever you are, if you can learn this and you can help companies keep up with that rapid change, that's where the real skill lies. I kind of almost see the kind of like there's like layers to it, I guess. And I've mentioned people, process, technology before. So people, process, and this is technology. In the technology sector, this is quite a well-known phrase around people, process, and technology. And kind of where I see this and how I view it is that there's layers. And at the moment, I would say that the technology layer it still is at the bottom, but I think it's getting further and further away. And I think there's going to be another layer within this. So at the moment, yeah, you could argue that people is, okay, let's put people at the top. But I see this as like business, value, and ROI. This is your top layer. This is this is outcomes. Let me just rub that off. This is where I see like results. Okay. Then you have this other process, this process layer here. So actually, to be fair, I actually might even just kind of change this up completely and remove people entirely from the top. And actually, this is almost kind of changing. People, process, technology, even though I fundamentally still believe in that, it is kind of changing. And actually the layers are almost now like, so this is now business, and then I would say, I think I would say people. I'm trying to work out people, and then I would say process. Then I would say technology. Something, I guess kind of mixing it up, that kind of people, process, technology, I think is changing, because there is people and process is important, and that is absolutely fundamental. But actually, I think the outcomes and results of the business, so like goals and results, are also like fundamentally important. The people in the organization and the processes in the organization and the technology in the organization doesn't exist unless the business is making money or the business is hitting its goals, whatever that might be. So I actually think this is kind of a layered approach, and where like I'm trying to focus my skills on at the moment are in these three remits here, because I know for a fact that in a couple of years' time, my skills that I'm learning now are obsolete, and I'm relatively, I can learn quite quickly. I've learned automation and AI, and I've built things, and I've been able to pick these skills up. Even though it's a very small percentage of actually what the market is. Even if I know 10%, that's 100% more than most people when it comes to AI and automation. So I know that I can pick things up quite quickly, and as technology moves, but technology is becoming so good and moving so quickly, it's almost as if like it's in its own, it's not at the bottom, but it's almost in its own realm. It's like I say, we look at people or business people and process, and as people will disagree with me that people should always be at the heart of the business and people should be at the top, and I do agree with that in some way. However, you don't have people unless the company is making money and achieving its goals and you're offering value. So I don't mean that to be negative and say, oh, well, it doesn't matter about people. I just think that any organization needs to think about how they're being successful in this market at the moment and how they're moving towards success so that they can make more money, so that they can hit their goals, and then they can hire people, and then those people that they hire, then they can have stronger processes and systems in place. And then, of course, they look at the technology. So I definitely think it's changing, and I kind of see it almost, it's a layered approach, and actually you could almost argue it's slightly like a pyramid. It's actually more like a pyramid, because let me just draw this. It's kind of like a pyramid instead, because actually this skill at the top is going to become more and more niche. It's going to become more and more niche to learn the biz skills. Okay, the value and going in and looking at ROI and helping a business achieve their goals. So this is going to be like the little niche, and this is where I'm trying to focus my skills on at the moment. The technology has become such a vast layer that it is at the bottom, I think, and I think it still lives at the bottom here. And then of course you've got people and process. So for me, I think AI skills and automation skills are becoming obsolete, and you should never, even as a business, right? So whether you're a business looking to implement these technologies, or you are a consultant or someone that's trying to learn automation and AI, I would focus more of your time looking at this and working your way down and going, okay, so here are, and I've got a video on this as well. So like it's almost like an AI roadmap. So here are your goals. How do we get our people to hit those goals? And then how can we implement the great processes as well to hit those goals? And then how can we leverage AI and technology to do that? And like I say, for me, there's always going to be someone that's better than me at automation and AI. Like I consider myself okay. I'm not the worst. I'm not the best at it. I'm trying to learn as much as I can. And there will always be someone that I can work with, or I can call on, that is a better technologist than me, to help me deliver pieces of work. But where I consider my skills quite strong is in the business, like the fundamentals of it, the business. How do we look at success and measuring value, and how do we help the business hit your goals, and how do we partner with an organization so that we're not just building workflows and files that you can import to your automation platform, like NAN, Make, Zapier, So I think I definitely think it's kind of almost becoming silly to learn the technology skills first. Like absolutely, you should always kind of have like a good idea of how things work, and there's nothing wrong with knowing how something goes together and works, because then you can look at it, and if things go wrong, you can pinpoint where it's going wrong and you can fix that. But I think you need to start with this first in mind, right? Start with goals and then work your way down through how this people, process, and technology are actually going to help with that. There's also a cost element in here, and I've been thinking about like how cost it could be involved in this kind of business, people, process, technology kind of layers, because I think cost is really, really important that we just seem to forget, like we kind of forget it, because there is a cost to all of these. There is a massive cost. Cost and money is in all of these, right? This is cost. There is a cost to this. And I'm trying to work out where that kind of goes within this. And I'm trying to kind of think to myself, like, because a company they have to have goals. You have to have business goals, but you also must consider the cost of it and how much money it's going to make, how much money it's going to cost you to do something, or how much money it's going to make you. Because fundamentally, without money and revenue, you can't hire people. Okay, well, if you can't hire people, then you're not going to have better processes. And if you don't have money, you can't buy new technology. So there is a cost element to this that I'm trying to still work out, because I just don't know where the consideration would be. And maybe, maybe, I don't know, maybe cost even goes before technology, or even, I guess, cost kind of, be honest with you, cost kind of goes up here. Like, money is fundamentally important to a business, right? And maybe the money side of it should be the top thing that you also think about along with your business goals, is saying, well, we've got these goals to, let me just come away from this. So we've got these goals to increase, so let's do plus, we want to plus revenue by 30% in 12 months. Okay, so that's your goal. There is a cost to doing that, right? Because no matter what you decide to do, whether that be to, so let me just actually note this down. I'm kind of thinking this out loud, to be fair. So no matter what you then decide to do, whether it is new products / services, whether that is new markets, whether that is hiring salespeople, or whether that is cutting costs, whether that is technology. So every one of these, so how you increase that revenue, we can do it in a number of ways, right? We can do new products and services, we can expand into new markets, we can hire sales teams to sell our product more, we can cut costs in certain areas. Not that that's directly tied to revenue, but you understand what I'm kind of saying. We can buy new technology, i.e. we can buy AI and automation, right, to help with this. But there is always a customer acquisition cost, always. No matter what you do, there is a cost to getting that customer. So I think, like, yes, if that's your goal, and your business goal up here is, you've got these goals here, and it is, your business goal is to increase revenue by 30% in the next 12 months. No matter what, that is a cost to that. And then you can look at people, process, and technology. So yeah, that's just kind of some of my thoughts on why I believe that actually learning automation and AI right now is not the most valuable thing you can do. And even as an organization, it isn't the most valuable thing you can focus on. Really focus on your business first, and learn the business skills, and understand what your business needs to achieve, and then work out how AI, automation, and technology can help you hit those goals. Let me know what you think. I'm quite keen to kind of challenge this idea of people, process, technology, because I think there's some more layers into it. I think it is very nuanced. And I actually think that, like I say, I think learning automation right now is kind of pointless. So let me know what you think, and drop it in the comments. Quite keen to have a discussion on this one, and I will see you in the next video.